A very good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. Today is the 19th of May. What on earth happened to the month of May? It's 2026. We'll take calls at 888-658-0234. Let's bring him in right now and ask the scientist here, meteorologist Mike Favetta. Is it that I'm getting older or is it
Mm.
the temperature? What's going on? How is it happening that May is just like yesterday was May 1st? Well, sort of.
Y- we sort of, yeah. It felt like it's going by so quickly, and you step into the heat, and it just makes like the world slow down, right? You have to take your time. You feel the humidity slap you in the face when you head outdoors. Yeah, it kind of feels like summer is around the corner, and even with that, we have the heat alerts already up for today and tomorrow, with the heat advisory lasting through tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. That's for the entire state, except for Sussex, with all of that warm weather on the way for today. So very hot weather throughout this afternoon, unusually warm, with our another day in the 90s. Today we get up to 97 over in Newark, second day in a row of 90 plus degree heat, 96 in Trenton. That happens by 3 o'clock today. Tomorrow, our third day of 90 plus degree heat for most of the state, but it happens early on in the day, likely between 11 a.m. and noon, because that's when the cold front comes in the afternoon hours, cooling us down into the 40s and 50s overnight into a cooler Thursday. So it will feel much more comfortable heading into Friday, even as temperatures struggle to make it back up into the 60s. We look outside right now and we've got clear sky all day long today. Maybe a few pop-up sprinkles you see down the shore, even some off to our west, but generally dry for today. It's tomorrow. This is the cold front that sweeps through, providing the line of showers and storms across New Jersey that keeps us wet for most of the state, even throughout our Thursday, especially the southern half of New Jersey. And then Friday, look at the rain that comes in. A lot of these systems lined up off to our west as they make their way across the country. We'll give you more details on that coming up with another check of your forecast, Ken, including what you can expect all around the country, because even down across Florida, you see some of these systems offshore, and then even back off to the west, this line of storms. I even heard on the news last night some producing tornadoes, as it is tornado season, and a lot of this weather typically gives us in the peak of tornado season, which is usually between March and May, a lot of that severe weather activity occurs. So looking a little bit further beyond, down through the weeks into Thursday and Friday, you see those chances of rain. We've got more details on the wet weather this upcoming holiday weekend. It's not a great forecast for Memorial Day, but we'll try and find some bright spots in a few minutes.
It's about time you find some bright spots because our lives are so dark to begin with, Mike. But,
Sure.
we appreciate the fact that eventually we'll get some brightness in here. We hope. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you as always. I'm frantically here trying to get our equipment to work today. It's one of those deals where there we go. I think we got it. Right now we have a temperature of 67 degrees in northern New Jersey. It is 71 degrees in Trenton. In Los Angeles, 64 degrees, and it is 65 in San Diego. 4 minutes past the hour. In terms of traffic, all we have right now is some congestion to report. No major incidents in the northeast region. Let's see here. We have the congestion. There we go. Delays now. It's saying on the New Jersey Turnpike eastbound exit ramp, exit 46 or Route 46, Ridgefield Park. All lanes are open. Just delays by the 46 exit. And then as we look at our approaches to the Hudson River, the Holland Tunnel is 35 minutes in. Pam, if you have the 139 approach, I'd appreciate that. If you could bring it up, I know to throw it at you at the last second, but you'll see that it's already delayed. Look at that. You can make it out the center. You see where it says SE? Those are two lanes there that are approaching the Holland Tunnel, and they're stopped. So that's an absolute mess, and that's just going to be that way for a while, it looks like. Don't know why. What's holding that up? Just maybe some easterly sunshine in the eyes. The Lincoln Tunnel approach, much better, only 20 minutes. And your approach to the GWB, upper and lower levels, 80, 95. Moving, you can see the upper level, not so much on the right, but the left side is the lower level, and that is moving. It's going to cost you 25 minutes in the lower level, 35 in the upper. To the west coast we go. We have a collision reported in central LA on the 10 at Santa Fe Avenue. We also have a collision now in South LA at the 710 in Long Beach Boulevard. And we have a closure of a roadway, Santa Fe Springs, at the 105 and Lakewood Boulevard. It is 6 minutes past the hour. A shooting at a San Diego mosque with links to the 9/11 terror attacks has left 5 people dead, including two shooters we'll show you on your screen in just a minute. There are two shooters who were rather two hijackers, I should say, who had received help in the 9/11 attacks from members of this mosque. So many people who have anti-Muslim biases often target this mosque to protest. Well, yesterday's attack happened just after 9 a.m. local time. Apparently, the mother of one of the young men in this attack, the mother of this got nervous because she had gotten a note from her son. The car was missing, and several of her weapons were missing. And her son, she said, had often been suicidal. She contacted police. It turns out her son and a friend rather, were attacking that Islamic center of San Diego. The two fatally shot a security at the entrance, and then two worshipers at the center before taking off in that white BMW. Police found the two dead in the car in the middle of a road a short time later. No word on why the teens went on their killing spree. But again, a total of 5 people dead, the two shooters, 2 worshipers, and the security person outside. And the people you see on your screen there, those are 2 of the 9/11 hijackers who had links to that mosque. 7 minutes past the hour, the LIRR strike is over. Good news for the folks on Long Island. But rail service will not resume until noon today. Commuters who are being asked, or now are being asked, if you can, work from home for today. Have one more day at home. Meanwhile, yesterday's commute was a nightmare for the LIRR's 300,000 daily riders. It was the first weekday that there was no LIRR service due to a strike in 32 years. Workers started their strike early Saturday morning after wage talks with the MTA collapsed. MTA Chair Jano Lieber said the unions had rejected the MTA's offer that literally gave them everything they had wanted in terms of pay. Once again, the good news is the two sides did come together. The strike is now over. The judge overseeing the state murder trial of Luigi Mangione, the man accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, ruled yesterday that prosecutors can use a gun and a notebook as evidence. Judge Gregory Caro's ruling effectively rejected Mangione's lawyer's argument that those items were seized illegally, delivering a partial victory to prosecutors. However, Caro said that prosecutors cannot admit items found in Mangione's backpack when he was arrested at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania 2 years ago, including a loaded magazine, a passport, and a wallet. Authorities have previously described the red notebook found in his bag as a manifesto. Mangione's arrest came 5 days after Thompson, a 50-year-old father of 2, was shot dead outside a Manhattan hotel as he walked to an investors conference. The 28-year-old defendant has pleaded not guilty. The U.S. has issued a travel advisory against flying to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uganda, and South Sudan. An Ebola outbreak has already killed at least 100 people in the DRC. Officials reported more than 390 suspected Ebola cases, and the World Health Organization has declared an international health emergency. Officials confirmed 6 Americans were exposed during the outbreak. Experts warn the outbreak could spread throughout the region. Ebola can only be spread by direct contact with body fluids, but that does include people coughing out in the open with sprays of their cough that could hit you and that could spread Ebola. It is 9 minutes past the hour. 3 young suspects were arrested after at least a dozen random shootings across Austin, Texas. The shootings injured 4 people during the weekend violence. Police said the suspects used several stolen vehicles to do their deed. Gunfire targeted homes, apartments. 2 teenage suspects were captured after a traffic stop, and a third was arrested later at a gas station. No clear motive yet. Authorities said the shootings were simply random. A Spanish court acquitted Shakira in a tax fraud case. Prosecutors failed proving that she lived in Spain during 2011. The court ordered millions returned to the singer. So they had said that she was living in Spain when she earned her millions. Therefore, she owed Spain income tax. And she was saying, no, she lived abroad, so she did not owe Spain that income tax. Officials could only confirm 163 days spent in Spain during that time. Spanish law requires that you spend at least 183 days for tax residency. Authorities linked Shakira to Spain through Gerard Piqué. Judges ruled the relationship did not establish legal residency. So she had a boyfriend there. She would once in a while go visit. And they were saying that that meant that she lived there. And she's saying, no, I only used to visit him on occasion. 10 minutes past the hour, President Trump dropped his lawsuit after reaching a $1.776 billion settlement with the IRS. Notice it's 1776. The agency illegally released his tax records in 2019. The president, however, will not receive a penny of the award. Instead, a special fund is being set up for anybody who believes they were politically targeted by the IRS during the Biden administration. Apparently, hundreds of people who were very far to the right politically were targeted, they were audited, they were harassed, some of them given jail sentences for different crimes that were hobbled together, I should say. Internal Revenue Code Section 6103 specifically protects the confidentiality of tax returns and associated information. Yet 7 years ago, a self-proclaimed Trump-hating systems analyst for the IRS stole former President Trump's tax records and handed them to a New York Times reporter who immediately published them. It is apparently not illegal to publish information, even though it was obtained illegally, as long as you took no part in obtaining it illegally. Once it's been obtained, they could publish it. So that's how they got away with publishing it. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth appeared beside Republican candidate Ed Gulrain in Kentucky yesterday. Gulrain is challenging anti-Trump incumbent Republican Representative Thomas Massie in a primary election today. Pentagon leaders usually avoid political campaigning. Officials said Hegseth's appearance, though, does follow federal ethics rules because he paid for his travel on his own. 13 minutes past the hour. When we return, there's a condition that affects millions of women around the world, and it's getting a new name. We'll explain. Plus, meteorologist Mike Favetta's forecast in the middle of what appears to be a heat wave. Plus, we will take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato, now live on the East Coast and the West Coast and on FLA in Florida. Back in 2, don't go away. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato for your Tuesday. We are live in New Jersey I'm sorry, it's early, on NJ, ONNJ, and we're also live in Los Angeles on LACA at 15 minutes past the hour, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta. Mike, I counted, it's only been 12,622,438 times that I've mentioned New Jersey, but for some reason they just had what they call, the technical term is a brain fart.
Oh, okay. Well, it's only been 6,432,638 times since I've had a brain fart, and that's just this morning. So, it's just we've been kind of running on fumes here. I had the extra large cup of coffee, and it's kind of like, I'll try and help, but it's the sun today. that'll get you going. That's, I think, what it is. Spending so much time out in the sun, trying to like rejuvenate, and it just wears you down because the heat that comes along with this sun, it really tires you, especially with the humidity today and the heat advisories all across New Jersey. Now, by tomorrow evening, that's where temperatures start to cool down. So today and tomorrow, they're kind of take it slow days, but the cooler feel returns for tomorrow evening, lasting through Thursday and into Friday. Notice the rain that holds off just off to our south by Friday afternoon. So I think we're dry across most of the state for Friday. Saturday, very different story. Look at the rain that comes back in for the first part of Memorial Day weekend. Sunday should also be dry but cloudy, and then Monday has some showers that are back in the picture. So it's a very different scene around here by the time we get to this weekend. So for now, enjoy the warmth and the sunshine, especially with the potential record heat through today and tomorrow. This ridge lasts through at least the first half of tomorrow, providing the very warm weather. That is until the front arrives. Right now, it's over the Midwest, and when it arrives here, it provides the cooling effect, some showers tomorrow evening, and even some clear conditions by Thursday morning for northern New Jersey, but just that drier feel will really make things feel wonderful. Then by Friday evening, you see this rain start to work in across southern New Jersey. Maybe it makes its way to the northern part of the state, but certainly lingers for the first half of the weekend on Saturday. We've got more details of what to expect coming up into next week. Let you know if it warms up again. That's coming up in a few more minutes, Ken.
Very good, sir. Appreciate it. 17 minutes past the hour. We look at just a couple of delays right now that we're having on roadways. Let's go to Route 4 if we can. There are delays on Route 4 eastbound from River Road to just east of Queen Anne Road in Teaneck. All lanes open, but you can see things are just heavy. This is purely volume. And again, as people drive toward the east, they tend to drive into the sun. That's when they hit their brakes. They go slowly. So that's Route 4. Route 4, it's probably not much better than that on a very good day. And this is just a congested day. There you have it. Your Hudson River crossings right now, the Holland Tunnel approach Route 139 coming off of 78 is very heavy. In fact, bumper to bumper, the center lane. So going in, you kind of make it out through the schmutz on the lens. See where it says SE just to the left? Those are the two lanes that go into the left tunnel, and you can see that they're just stopped. That's going to cost you 35 to 40 minutes in. Your Lincoln Tunnel approach to the Helix is only 20 minutes in. It's been pretty good lately, in fact. And the GWB upper and lower levels 8095 approach right now, it is heavy, you could see, but moving. It's going to cost you about 35 minutes in. In California, we have a couple of issues right now for our West Coast viewers. Traffic collision right now, Central LA on the 10 at Santa Fe Avenue. We have another collision located in South LA on the 710 at Long Beach Boulevard, and a road closure, Santa Fe Springs by the 105 at Lakewood Boulevard. It is 18 minutes past the hour. There's a major shift in how doctors understand and diagnose a condition that affects millions of women around the world. Joining us are Dr. Heather Applebaum, Director of Pediatric Gynecology at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore University Medical Center, and Dr. Michelle Maresca, endocrinologist at Joseph M. Sanzari Children's Hospital at Hackensack University Medical Center, to explain why polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, is now being renamed polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, or PMOS, and what that change could mean for patients and families moving forward. Doctors, good morning. Good to have you on. It's funny how I could say all that without a mistake, but I couldn't say the call letters of our station. Maybe you could help me figure that one out later. We'll work on that. Let's say good morning and welcome to you both first. Good to have you on.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Dr. Applebaum, let's start with you if we could. Why is the medical community now changing PCOS to PMOS? What is the significance behind that?
Yeah, I think it's an alphabet soup. So it's ONJ and PCOS and PMOS. So
Absolutely,
PCOS
yes.
PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that explanation of a condition that includes menstrual irregularity, elevated androgens, which present as excess hair growth and maybe acne, is kind of a misnomer. It leads patients to believe that there's a lot of cysts on the ovaries. So polycystic ovarian syndrome was a title that they used historically for a long time, but really didn't represent what was going on with this condition. The new name, PMOS, which stands for polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, is much more descriptive and much more comprehensive and much more accurate in terms of explaining the clinical features of this syndrome that include both the features that I mentioned of irregular periods and maybe some cosmetic features of having acne and excess hair growth, but also very much includes the metabolic component of what's going on internally in terms of insulin resistance and potentially obesity and metabolic syndrome that can occur down the line with untreated PMOS.
Gotcha. And so, Doctor, let's go over to Dr. Maresca now. So we're talking about certain hormones that come out of the ovaries are basically not coming out the way they should. I'm going to put it as basic as possible. I'm a nerd, so I read up on it beforehand, of course, last night. But is that kind of what's happening? And that's what is leading to some of the facial hair and the acne. It's the conflict of the different hormones in a woman's body at that point when this happens.
It's actually a combination of hormones coming from both the ovary as well as the adrenal gland, and they're called androgens. So we think of them as male type hormones, although both men and women both make them. And they're responsible for hair growth in certain hormone sensitive areas of the body. So some people with PCOS or PMOS will develop facial hair, hair on their belly, on their abdomen, and their chest area, lower back, as well as acne. With adolescents, a lot of times there's a lot of overlap because acne is very common in adolescents, but they may have even more severe acne, such as cystic acne. Hair on the scalp is also sensitive to androgens, and it can actually cause hair loss, as well as hormones from the pituitary gland that regulate your period or regulate your ovaries that can also be dysregulated. And sorry,
Here,
also having a brain fart this morning.
That's okay. It's catchy. It's catchy. It's sort of like some of the syndromes that we were talking about earlier. Let me ask you this, because I know this. I was surprised to see this as a layperson, that the pituitary gland can release other like a pituitary gland can release tiny bits of testosterone as well. Is that true that it creates or can release that? So that's how men get female hormones, and women can get some male hormone. Am I right with that?
So actually, the way that you produce estrogen is that you convert testosterone to estrogen. The pituitary gland, though, is the master regulator. So the pituitary gland makes several different hormones that then activate other glands in your body. So there's two hormones that regulate the gonads, the ovaries and the testes, and those are called LH and FSH, and those can be dysregulated with PMOS.
Gotcha.
Also,
thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
Sure. And then one other thing that I was trying to think of earlier that I couldn't is that when you have insulin resistance, you make less of a protein called sex hormone binding globulin that binds your extra testosterone in your blood. So you actually have higher levels of testosterone circulating in your blood, even if the total levels are normal.
Gotcha. Because I'm just thinking back to every time I've had a blood test and seeing the free testosterone, all these different levels and what all that means. It may be a little different in my case, obviously, than for a woman. But, I always get concerned right away and say, why is this 0.02 above what it should be, doc? And my doctor looks at me and gives me this, don't worry about it, all the time. But nonetheless, something to be concerned about. So if I'm a woman, I go to my doctor and I'm diagnosed with this, what should I be concerned about? And how does one take care of this? We go to Dr. Applebaum.
Okay, so if you're diagnosed with PMOS, it really requires a collaborative effort from both the gynecologist and the endocrinologist. So this is why we are here together to talk to you about this condition, because the menstrual irregularity and the potential for fertility compromise, it should be addressed by a gynecologist from a hormonal standpoint in terms of the sex steroid hormones like estrogen and testosterone, and the effects on reproductive functioning. Whereas, and in collaboration with the endocrinologist, they really address the metabolic component where there can be insulin resistance and that long-term effects of that on metabolic syndrome, including obesity, hyperlipidemia, cardiovascular disease, et cetera, et cetera. So if somebody is diagnosed with PMOS, it's really important to have a healthcare team to enlist both a gynecologist and an endocrinologist to have a comprehensive approach that doesn't just focus on the ovaries, but also focuses on the entire body.
And Dr. Applebaum, can this happen to young women from puberty all the way on to menopause, anywhere in between?
Sure. PMOS is not special for any stage or age. As soon as somebody's gone through puberty and they start to get their periods, there is a potential for PMOS to start to develop, because it is an interplay between the hormones that allow for the periods to start. And if the periods are not irregular within the first 2 years of the onset of the first period, this is something that clinicians should be thoughtful about and should be screening for.
I mean, I'm just thinking back to my youth, and I'm just speaking, just anecdotally from hearing older women in my family, which aunt, oh, she never gets her regular period. Sometimes she goes months and months and months. Now we look back, could that have been a symptom of something like this? Dr. Maresca, we should go to you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So with adolescents, we usually say that it can take 1 to 2 years to have regular menstrual cycles. However, if you're having other symptoms that may be consistent with insulin resistance or higher levels of androgens, you shouldn't necessarily wait until it's been 1 to 2 years after your first period in order to seek potential treatment. So I think that's also really important to have a higher level of suspicion. And also, there are some adolescents who are at higher risk of developing this syndrome, such as girls who had early onset of pubic hair, which is called premature adrenarche. Also, girls who were born small for gestational age are at higher risk of this. So in those girls in particular, it's important to have a higher level of suspicion and not necessarily wait. And then as you go throughout the lifespan, irregular periods, not only irregular periods, but also heavy bleeding can be a sign of this syndrome as well.
All right. Well, I appreciate you both clarifying it so well, because even I am in total medical nothing, could understand based on the way you've clarified it, and I appreciate it very much. PCOS, again, now being renamed polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, or PMOS. If you'd like to get more information, of course, you could reach out at the website hmhn.org. That's hmhn.org. Dr. Heather Applebaum, Director of Pediatric Gynecology at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore University Medical Center. Dr. Michelle Maresca, endocrinologist at Joseph M. Sanzari Children's Hospital at Hackensack University Medical Center. Thank you both so much for coming on this morning and clarifying this for us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It is 28 minutes past the hour. When we come back, the Girl Scouts of Northern New Jersey are expanding. We're going to talk about the new Dream Lab in Paramus opening next month when we come back. Very good morning. It is 31 minutes past the hour, Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato, live on the East Coast and the West Coast. Meteorologist Mike Favetta telling us all about what appears to be what's a Hayat Wave? Heat wave. I'm sorry. I'm in Latin mode. I'm pronouncing it in Latin. Hayat Wave. Wow. Where'd that come from?
It's a southwest wind, Ken. It's a southwest wind that heats things up today with the sunshine. It makes it hot and humid, much warmer than it has been. Speaking of records, we already broke the record for the morning, whereas the overnight low never got below 73 degrees in Newark. Last time that happened, and the date kind of throws me because there was no aviation in 1877, but according to the Weather Service, the last time that happened was 1877 in Newark. Maybe they're taking the Central Park observation, kind of spreading it west. But regardless, there's still plenty of pollen around today. You'll be sneezing if you're sensitive to the trees and grasses, the weeds back at the high level as well. So all of this record heat extends up through Maine and right down to North Carolina. So a lot of warm weather today for the East Coast, even tomorrow with another round of heat on the way by tomorrow afternoon. Notice it's kind of compressed more toward the coastline because as the front moves in from the west tomorrow, that'll start cooling us down early on in the day, especially points to our west. So plan on the wet weather getting going early on. Look at that severe cell with the bright shades of orange. Those are the high cloud tops there. And then, of course, the showers and storms and tornadoes underneath it. Out to the west coast, you are clear and dry and staying that way through this afternoon. Also want to take a quick note down toward Florida where your rainy season has begun. And now a lot of that wet weather headed toward the east coast and staying wet with more rains on the way for today and tomorrow. This time, some more of that wet weather down along the Atlantic coast. So with the weather staying dry today for New Jersey, just plan on more heat and humidity. The storms, they come in tomorrow afternoon. We'll time them out coming up with the Futurecast, Ken, in your next weather update.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much. So we appreciate you. And looking at the temperature, 67 degrees right now, northern New Jersey, 71 in Trenton. It is 65 degrees in Cape May, a little cooler by the water. And in California right now, 59 in Los Angeles, 60 San Diego. We look at some traffic issues that we have and go to the Garden State Parkway right now, if we could. It's not a major problem. Look at the upper right corner. You can see just a little congestion, a little slowdown. And that's because there's a disabled vehicle on the Garden State Parkway southbound, just north of exit 82A, Route 37 west in Toms River Township. A right lane is blocked just about half a mile beyond that point. So you can see things are starting to slow down, but fortunately not so bad. Hudson River crossings, that's where things get to start to get a little crazy. If we look at the Route 139 approach from Route 78 to the Holland Tunnel. It's so hard to see with that dirty lens. I think they keep it dirty on purpose so that you don't see how horrible the traffic is. You see where it says SE, there are 3 lanes there, and that's what takes you into the tubes of the Holland Tunnel and just above in the right corner. The lanes moving on the left or toward the middle, those lanes are actually local lanes into Jersey City. So that gives the false impression, things are moving. No, you got to look to the right. Those are the lanes that are not moving, and that's what we have a problem. So it's 40 minutes into Manhattan via the Holland. It is 30 minutes in right now on the via the Lincoln Tunnel, via the Helix. And the GWB upper and lower levels starting to really pack up right now. 8095 approach. Look at this, not moving. Upper level on the right, lower on the left. Ugh, that's going to cost you a solid 40 into Manhattan. And we look at the West Coast. We have a collision now in West LA at the 10 and National Boulevard. We have something in the roadway. It actually they believe maybe a truck hit an animal. And this is in Santa Fe Springs at the 60 and Nogales Street. And we have a couple of other collisions that just got reported. And again, it's only 4:35 in the morning, so it's kind of early for this. But in West LA, there is a collision at the 10 and La Cienega Boulevard, another collision at the 10 and Santa Fe Avenue in Central LA. And we have a collision now reported South LA, and this is at the 710 and Long Beach Boulevard. 35 minutes past the hour right now, and we have a nice story to tell you about. It's the Girl Scouts of Northern New Jersey. They have been helping young girls build confidence and leadership skills for generations. President and CEO Sandra Kenoff is leading the effort to expand hands-on learning. There's an upcoming opening happening in just a few weeks of the new Dream Lab in Paramus. It's happening in June. It'll be a space designed to inspire the next generation through STEM, creativity, and leadership. And we say good morning and welcome, Dr. Kenoff.
Good morning. I'm not doctor, but good morning. It's great
Oh,
to see you.
I don't know why well, let's see. We've now elevated you.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
got that.
why, but nonetheless, you know what? In my mind, you will be done. No, I'm sorry. Thank you. Good to have you. Good to have you on. Then Sandra, if I may call you that.
Thank you so
It is.
much.
You bet. All right, Sandra, I almost did it again just now. 7:36. And what kind of experiences will girls have when they walk into this space coming up? And there's going to be I guess, an opening on the 6th and 7th of June, right? That's kind of the grand opening of this.
Yes. So this is a really transformative space. We're so excited to be opening our Girl Scout Dream Lab. The official ribbon cutting is going to be on Friday, June 5th. And yes, the grand opening weekend is on the 6th and 7th. This space is actually part of a licensed concept from Girl Scouts of the USA. So we are going to be the 12th Girl Scout Dream Lab to open in the country. What's different about our Dream Lab is that we're in a 12,000 square foot building. So we were able to go beyond the size and scope of the original prototype. And we built the space with intentional flexibility. What we're looking to offer are varied experiences, everything from digital podcasting in our digital podcast studio to culinary programs. We have a teaching kitchen that also morphs into an art lab that can also morph into a coding center. There are lots of spaces for STEM exploration, everything from robotics to chemistry experiments. I talked about the intentional flexibility. We have a large multi-purpose room, which is there not only for public speaking engagements, but also for cultural arts, book clubs, wellness. An important component of the space is that we have a sensory calm down room. We're trying to think of all different aspects of the population, considering access and belonging, and make sure that girls are able to have experiences across our 4 pillars of STEM, life skills, entrepreneurship, and the outdoors.
I love it. So this is a little bit like I'm thinking as you were describing in the beginning, it sounds like first of all, it sounds like what a lot of schools are lacking, but used to give us, and unfortunately don't give us anymore. That's one of the problems. But it sounds like home ec from years ago meets science technology of today, put it all together into a center that also has a calm down or a sensory room, et cetera. And there you have the Dream Lab. Do I have it as an old man's interpretation of it?
Yeah, I think you do. And actually, you're hitting on a great point, which is that we want girls to see all different types of possibilities and inspire them to find their path. And so we want to expose them to everything that we can. And we want to partner in the community to make sure that we're offering professionally led experiences. We want them to be able to find their passions, whether that's cooking, which certainly involves life skills, but also very much
Sure.
involves STEM, to really keeping up with the pace of girls. We're in a world of AI. We want to make sure that they have the tools and resources to explore different pathways that might lead to careers or passions and interests. And that's what helps them meet our mission of building girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place.
I love the way you just described that. I have an aunt-in-law, if you will, who is a former magazine editor and loves to cook. And with all her young nieces, whenever they come through, she teaches them to cook, but with this angle. She says cooking is science. Cooking is chemistry,
Yes.
and she gives them the chemistry. So she knows her chemistry. She literally talks it through, and the reason why this rises is because you have bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, mixing with an acid. Now you have so it's like a chemistry class in her kitchen. I
Yes.
love it. I love hanging out when she's. But this is beautiful, and I'm sure that's something that when so you're not isolating it. Whoa, women belong in the kitchen. No, you're actually teaching science and you're teaching life skills, and this is good for everybody, male, female, and anyone in between, to encounter this. I have to ask: is this Dream Lab specifically for members of the Girl Scouts only, or can young women who are thinking about the Girl Scouts also come and take part?
Great question. So our primary audience are our Girl Scouts, but we are open to the community. One of the things I talk about is that girls are in school between 9 and 3. So we want to be open to the community with a community center focus in mind, whether that's partnering with senior adults to come in and let them learn how to do a podcast or, understand some of the aspects of woodworking or, working with different types of tools, crafts, slime, art experiences, sip and paints. So it's open to girls. We're open to also experiences with schools. We want to be offering field trips. So there's plenty of opportunities for the community at large to participate, although Girl Scouts are our primary audience.
Love it. And I love that you have woodwork and everything else there too. The person I use as my contractor here is a woman who is and by the way, I don't know how she literally does she's into the fingernail thing being perfect. Yes, she's carrying big chunks of wood. Unbelievable. Every bit of work in this house that I'm sitting in right now has been done by this woman, and she is unbelievably talented contractor. So I'm so glad you're introducing this to young girls so that they know that they can do anything that they want. Being the happy uncle of 5 nieces makes me very happy to hear this. Now, you
great.
serve nearly 19,000 girls across North
We do.
Jersey. And what are you hearing from the families about this now?
Our families are so excited. Again, being able to come to a place that I also think about as a hub for sisterhood, a place where they can come together and meet other girls across the region, meet other girls across the world. We're tech enabled, the entire space. We want girls to tap into the global nature of Girl Scouting. Girls have, there are Girl Scout troops all over the world, and there's no reason why our girls here in northern New Jersey can't be connecting with a troop from Paris, and maybe one day they can get together as they focus on travel experiences, which is certainly part of the Girl Scout leadership experience as well. But our families are super excited. I think another thing that's happening is that there's a visible change in what we're doing. If you drive past our building, it looks different. We've been there for almost 50 years. You can tell that something new and different is happening. And, we're definitely hearing and feeling the buzz, and we're all about it. We just want to keep evolving, providing tremendous experience for girls to find the possibilities and become the leaders of tomorrow. And really, not everybody's going to go to college. Not everybody's going to be the next CEO. So whether that's working in trades, working in manufacturing, sitting in that corner office, whatever it is, we want to inspire that next generation.
Amen to that. The all-new Dream Lab opening June 6th and 7th in Paramus. Sandra Kenoff, not a doctor, but smarter than one. Sandra Kenoff, President and CEO, our dear friend of the Girl Scouts of Northern New Jersey. What a great concept. This is so exciting that is coming. Please come back and let us know when this is in full gear and in operation. And thank you for coming on this morning. You bet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It is 44 minutes past the hour. When we come back, there's a new children's book helping kids deal with major life changes like moves. We're going to speak with the author of Frida the Frog is on the Move. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 46 minutes past the hour. Meteorologist Mike Favetta. I bring you in as a man of New Jersey for many, many, many years. And I don't know if did you happen to see the now viral video of our former governor Chris Christie at a Bruce Springsteen concert of late, reaching out to the boss, and the boss basically saying, "Go screw yourself." I don't know if you saw this. This happened
I
over the
did
weekend. Check
not.
this out. So here's
Oh
Springsteen
boy.
coming in. There's Christie put the arm out, and he's a front rower. And he just went, yeah, goes there. Of course, right away, Christie posted this shot saying, "Oh, no, he likes me for real." Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. You try to
Huh.
save some face, but that was embarrassing. And of course, he was on the jumbotron in the
Yeah.
stadium, and you see
Oh boy.
Springsteen coming. Everybody's going crazy, and he's shaking other people's hands. On his left, he
Uh-huh.
was shaking some hands. You could say, well, he was holding a mic. That's why, Ken. But you telling me, look, not for anything. Chris Christie is no 92-pound waif. I'm not trying to mock. I speak as a person who used to weigh 360 pounds. Uh, you can't miss Chris Christie from about 2 blocks away. Having met the man and interviewed the man a number of times, he's a big man, and I don't mean just big that way. He's a big presence, and I think there was more to it. I think Christie and Springsteen politically are opposites, and Springsteen wants nothing to do with him. Oh, just my perception.
Was
I
this
mean,
in New
we look at
Jersey?
again. Yeah, I believe it was.
Oh.
You know, we'll
Well,
see.
yeah.
I'm sure there'll be more to come. Baby, there'll be more to come. I'm sorry. So, what are we looking like? We're looking like we're getting a heat wave, Miguel.
Yeah, there's some outdoor concert weather ahead, especially going into today and tomorrow. This weekend, however, oh no, it's going to be cold, it's going to be rainy. It's not the best weather for the Memorial Day holiday. You can already see some of these storms lining up off to our west. They arrive first this afternoon, and then another round tomorrow, but way out west. You stay clear. Taking a check of West Coast weather early this morning, nice and dry, going into tomorrow, and even for Friday, early this weekend, featuring nothing more than clear sky, maybe a little bit of a marine layer down by the coast on Saturday morning, but beyond that, staying dry and sunny today. All right, back east, you see all of these lines of storms, 1 and 2 off to our west as they move eastward, giving us our threats of rain, also cooling us down over the next several days. Here's this big warmth that works its way eastward over the next 24 hours. Even though yesterday was hot, today hotter still. We have to get to 97 to tie the record at Newark, and I think there's a good shot of doing that. But even still, with the warm weather that's forecast for today and tomorrow, we have a shot of some cooler air that comes in for Thursday and Friday, and then just in time for the weekend, all these chances for rain work their way through. First on Saturday morning, lasting through the afternoon, and then again on Sunday night into Monday. So there could be a few hours there on Sunday. You can see here with the Futurecast that actually clear out nicely, but it's going to be very hit or miss, especially depending on your location. All in all, the cooler weather will feel quite pleasant throughout Thursday into Friday. Maybe not so much the rain that comes in. You see a lot of that throughout the overnight on Friday into Saturday. But beyond that, warm weather through the first few days of June as this big heat takes over across the eastern half of the U.S., and even higher chances of rain in the next 2 weeks as well. So no more of this dry period. There's actually above average chances of rain for much of the U.S., which is good considering a lot of the East Coast is under a pretty significant drought, especially down along the southeast.
All right, sir. Appreciate that. Yes, we need the rain. Thank you, Mike. 69 right now, northern New Jersey, 71 in Trenton, Los Angeles, 59, and 59 in San Diego. Something serious to show you right here. Let's go right to a car fire. This is on the Garden State Parkway. Look, oh boy. And a second ago, that smoke was absolutely black. They may have you see how it's turning white? When the smoke is white, that means that is steam coming from water. So a second ago, literally, that was pitch black, thick smoke, which would have been oil burning. Now it is white, which tells me that they are putting it out. You have fire crews there, thankfully, who put water on that. I just hope that the person got out. It looks like the person is out and walking on the right there. But that's a car fire. Where, Ken, is that? Okay, that is on the Garden State Parkway, southbound, just south of exit 127, which is by 287 and Route 440 in Woodbridge. So now the two right lanes are blocked. This is causing about 2 to 3 miles of backup. And it's causing some residual, not a lot, but some residual delays on the northbound side. But again, this is by 127. You know, it'll be a while before they clean that up. So try to avoid the Garden State Parkway again. This is southbound by a 127 in Woodbridge. The two right lanes are now blocked. There's another issue on the Garden State, nothing like that. Disabled on the Garden State southbound north of exit 82A by Route 37 West Toms River with the right lane blocked, not really causing massive problems. Yeah, and I'm still looking at the image. It looks like now it's just a little puffy white smoke of the other incident. So it looks like they got that out. This is right here. This is what I was telling you about, the breakdown vehicle by exit 82A of the Garden State Parkway. Upper right side, if you look, the upper left side, if you look, you can see the flashing lights. That was where the breakdown is. Not causing major problems, but just keep an eye on it. Try to avoid that right lane as you come around the bend if you could. The Hudson River crossings right now, Lincoln is good. It's only 20 to 25 minutes in. The Holland, which is 139 coming from the Route 78 to 139 connector into the Holland Tunnel. You can see, the camera's out now. It is bumper to bumper right now. It's going to cost you a solid 40 minutes in. And the GWB upper and lower levels, 80-95 approach has been very heavy for the last 45 minutes, and it still is now, barely moving. Upper level on the right, lower on the left, and that is a solid 45 to 50 minutes into Manhattan. In Los Angeles right now, the only issue we had was by the 710 and Ventura Boulevard. Otherwise, all the other crashes we reported earlier are now cleared up. 53 minutes past the hour for kids. Big life changes like moving or going away can feel exciting and overwhelming all at once, especially if they've never been away from their parents before. Well, there's a new children's book called Frida the Frog is on the Move. It's helping families start those important conversations in a comforting way. Author Nadine Harouni is here with tips for parents navigating big transitions with their kids. Good morning, Nadine. Good to have you on.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, tell us how you came up with the concept of the book.
So Frida the Frog is on the Move is loosely based on things that me and my family went through, just like the first 4 of the 5 Frida the Frog books. And in this book, it was based on the fact that me and my children moved from Manhattan from a small apartment into a bigger house in New Jersey. And my kids weren't really all excited about it at first, which I think a lot of kids go through when they're moving or going through any major life change. So I felt that if my kids were feeling these mixed emotions, a lot of other kids were. So I felt that it was an important book to get out to help families.
Yeah, this is so important. And I don't have kids, but I'm basing it on what my nieces and nephews, and got tons of those, and how they had to deal with move or new experiences. And the big thing is, I have nieces and nephews down in Florida who go to sleepaway camp in the summertime, and some of them couldn't wait and adjusted great, and others had a really tough time and wanted to come home and didn't want to separate. What is it about that? And let me just ask you as an aside, as a parent, what do you think is it? And did you experience this where some kids have no problem with separating, or at least don't exhibit issues, and other kids really don't want to separate?
So all of my kids were the same. They didn't want to go, or they didn't want to move. I think even for adults too, change is scary. And that's the theme of the Frida the Frog is on the Move book, which is that change doesn't have to be so scary after all. Mm-hmm. So you want to I think you really just want to try to frame it in a positive way and communicate with them and let them know what's going on, have them be involved every step of the way, and kind of frame it as a positive, as an adventure. Let them maybe help think about if it's a new room or a new home, think about things they're going to bring to their new room. Let them be involved in picking out stuff to decorate their room. If it's a camp, maybe let them either visit the camp if possible, or if not, look online, show them all the fun activities they're going to be doing. So let them get excited about it and sort of build up the momentum up until the big day.
I love that. And Frida the Frog is great because that's a character that you could live vicariously through and see how Frida experiences everything, which is fantastic. It's funny you talk about involving the kids, again, bringing my own family in as well. I had a niece, and she's involved in like redoing her room, everything. She's 8, but everything in terms of what colors, what kind of shiny paint, is it going to be a flat paint, everything. And that's what gets her excited about it. So the book comes at a perfect time of the year because now families are preparing for summer camp, moves. This is the time of the year when 80% of any moves occur in the summertime, new routines. So now is really important, isn't it, to help kids process the changes, and the earlier you get them involved, the better, isn't it?
Yes, because otherwise they're building all these emotions, anxieties about the unknown. So this earlier on, they know what's going on and they can sort of mentally prepare, and you can help them prepare and maybe relay your feelings and let them know that you were a little anxious about it too, or you were a little nervous about it too, and have them just feel comfortable sharing their feelings with you. Make them feel comfortable asking questions, be supportive, be patient, understand that it's going to take them time to adjust, whether it's a new home or a camp, and give them space to express their feelings and validate them.
I love it. What is a website to buy the book or get more information?
Sure. It's Nadine Haruni, my name.com. And on Instagram or Facebook, I'm Nadine Haruni Books.
I love it. The book is Frida the Frog is on the Move. That's part of the Frida the Frog series, helping families, in this case, start those big life change conversations with kids in a comforting way. I love that you have this series of books. Author Nadine Haruni. For those wondering, how do you spell Haruni? It's Haruni when you look her up. Nadine Haruni. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. It is 58 minutes past the hour. For those of you watching on LACA on the West Coast, stay tuned for your local news. If you're watching on New Jersey, we'll be right back with New Jersey news, opinion, weather, and traffic. Thanks for watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. Good morning. It's 8 a.m. Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Do you like heat and sunshine? We got lots of it for you. Sunny, breezy today, a few afternoon clouds, highs, mid-90s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta, with the magic of electronics, literally snapped his fingers and his
Boom.
camera popped on.
That's
The
it.
full Garden State forecast, Mike. And, is it me or was it not overly humid yesterday?
It
And is that
wasn't
changing?
incredibly humid. You're right. And that's what allowed for the fast warm up, because with the dry air, the temperature warms much more quickly than it does with humid weather. And that's why this morning, as the humidity rolled on in, temperatures kind of stayed in the 70s where they were most of the afternoon yesterday. So we already are at 77 degrees in Newark, 76 down the shore, 14 degrees warmer than this time yesterday in Long Branch. That just goes to show you how warm it'll be today. A lovely southwesterly breeze warming us into into this afternoon. Skies nice and clear, so that sunshine beaming down, making it feel quite warm. You can see with the futurecast going all the way to 97 in Hackensack, 96 there in Newark. Have to make a 97 in Newark to tie the record, but it'll stay warm all across New Jersey with the threat of a passing shower later on this evening. I think most of the rains, however, come in tomorrow afternoon with the line of storms probably after the lunch hour on Wednesday. You see them right across the state, give us a little bit of a cool down, and temperatures cool us off into the 50s and 60s for Thursday. So more rain on the way for Thursday with that wet weather lingering through Thursday evening. And then the clouds are around, the cooler weather's around. Great weather for Memorial Day weekend. And I say that tongue in cheek because it is really chilly with the showers around to start off the weekend. But I think there are some bright spots, especially by Sunday afternoon. Could see a patch of dry weather. So we go from the 90s today and tomorrow to the 50s and 60s on Friday. Big changes ahead. We'll detail them coming up, Ken, in a few minutes.
Unbelievable. And again, as Grandma used to say, that's how you get sick. One day you don't know how to dress, another day you don't know how to dress, whatever. And then of course, my plants, forget it. I told you, my basil plants, they've written letters of complaint about you. I'm just letting you know.
Well, in true Italian fashion, they're going on strike. So they're just on strike indefinitely.
Go on strike on a good day in Italy. I mean, it's
on
like
a Tuesday. Yes, on a Tuesday.
Right? What is it called today? It used to be called Alitalia. What do they call the airline now? They have a new
the
name.
ITA Airways. Yeah.
ITA. It used to be Alitalia. That's the thing. Rather than letting everybody know that it's the airline that goes on strike every week, let's just change the name and then we'll go on strike. But yeah, ITA Airways. I mean, they got good food. I'll give them that. But good Lord Almighty, that's what they do. They love striking. God bless their hearts. All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. 70 degrees right now, northern New Jersey. It is 75 already in Trenton. So as you go inland away from the water, notice the temperature is warmer than closer to the shore. The shore points, ocean temperature, river temperatures are cooler, and you get any kind of a wind coming in as the sun rises, even though it's going to be westerly, southwesterly winds. As the sun rises, all the air gets sucked in, as Mike has explained to us in the past. And so for a while, you get the cooler temps at the shore until things stabilize. In terms of the traffic, we have a problem still. Look at the Garden State Parkway. This is by exit 127. This was a car fire 30 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago even. We showed you the car still on fire. And you could see they got the fire out, but the damage is done. The two right lanes are closed. This is, again, Garden State Parkway by 127 southbound. This is near 440 and 287 in Woodbridge. Two right lanes blocked. That's going to be there for a good 45 minutes more, folks. Just beware. Try to avoid that part of the parkway if you can. We have another problem southbound on the Garden State Parkway now. Pam, I don't know if you can get up to, I'm throwing this at you as a curveball, 139B. So in the between 136 and 140, if you have that on the Garden State Parkway, we have it disabled. It is blocking the center lane. Whenever we have a center lane blockage, that tells me the whole highway is going to be a mess because now emergency vehicles have to use one of the side lanes to get to it. So if you have it, if not, it's okay. Yeah. So that is on the Garden State Parkway, southbound by exit 139B. That's in Union. Center lane is blocked. We have a problem in Elizabeth, the Corbin Street, southbound at Bay Avenue, right in downtown Elizabeth. There is a disabled truck, and that is causing one of two lanes to be blocked there, causing a lot of traffic downtown. Your Hudson River crossings right now, the Holland Tunnel approach, 139 is bumper to bumper. It's going to cost you 40 minutes in. Look at the Lincoln Tunnel right now. This is 495 to the Helix. You can see that it is moving, albeit slowly. Those are the center lanes making your way to the Helix. You could see the skyline of New York, a little haze there in the background. And then the GWB upper and lower levels, both bumper to bumper right now. 8095 approach, upper level on the right, lower on the left. That'll cost you a solid 45 minutes in to Manhattan. Good luck getting in. It is 5 minutes past 8 right now. From leadership and innovation to the challenges shaping New Jersey's business landscape, I should say. Some of the most interesting conversations are happening inside the executive suite. Oh, to be a fly on the wall. A new episode of In the C-Suite with Fred Castrovinci is giving viewers an inside look at the people and ideas driving business across the Garden State. And joining us this morning is Fred Castrovinci himself, FSVP and New Jersey Regional President of Business Banking at Valley Bank, and he's host of In the C-Suite with Fred Castrovinci. Good morning to you, Fred. Good to have you on again.
Ken, great to be with you today, and I'm really happy to be in an office after seeing all that traffic
Right? And my commute is down a flight of steps. I have a home studio, so this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I keep thinking about my days at Channel 7 when even at 4 a.m. we would hit traffic getting in. It would be a nightmare. So tell me about In the C-Suite. This sounds so exciting. And for everybody who's wondering, when can I see it happening? It's going to be live tonight, or it starts, I should say, tonight. The debut is 5 p.m. on New Jersey, right? And then it's going to be weeknights at 5 p.m. thereafter. So in the C-Suite, what was the inspiration behind it?
So Ken, I'm 25 years in at Valley Bank here as New Jersey Regional President. In my role, I get to visit and meet with business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs in every industry you could think of across all different regions of New Jersey and the tri-state area. So the stories that I get to hear and the leadership that I'm exposed to really inspired me. And really, this was born more than 6 months ago. We did start to air the show about 6 months ago. So I've already had the opportunity to interview several leaders here and really ranging in all the different industries from manufacturing to higher education, innovation, advertising, nonprofits. And more recently, we did an interview with Nick Day from the film industry. So really, all the things that are happening in and around impact that's being created, and hearing stories that resonate with people on their leadership journeys as well.
Yeah, there is so much to learn, and you have more and more people starting small businesses as well. And that's the beauty about Valley Bank. I know people who have small businesses, mid-sized businesses, and they all bank with you guys. There is something to be said. You are like the biggest smaller bank, if you will, and I mean no disrespect. I mean nothing but pure respect when I say that, because you have a small town feel, but you're a major bank all at the same time. That's a rare thing to have, that quality. And I can tell you right now, I know four different people who bank with you, who love you and have banked with you for years. So the show now gets into leadership and decision making, as you said. Why is that so essential to maybe share that information with people who would like to get to the next level of business with their companies?
Great, Ken. I do want to frame up what you said before for 1 second, and thank you for bringing up the size and the feel of Valley. We are actually in the middle space here, and we are actually now the largest bank headquartered in New Jersey, and headquartered now out of Morristown. We've been here for 3 years. So we are really owning that middle space of banking today, where we can do all the things that the money center banks can do.
I think we got a glitch. We got a glitch. All right. We'll get him back. We'll get Fred back. Okay. Oh, I think he got back. He's back. Let's bring Fred back. All right. So, Fred, we froze up when you said we own the middle level of banking. So please talk about that from there.
Thanks, and sorry for that. So yeah, we really own that middle space of banking. It's a rare space for us to be, where we can do all the things that a money center bank can do, but with the feel that you were describing of a smaller community relationship-based bank. Relationships are at the heart of everything that we do. And that's a great segue to talk about the leadership concept, because people and character is what drives a business. The innovation, the grit. Here we are in New Jersey, right? Where I think this is filled with the most grit that the United States has to offer. So the business owners here figure it out, whether it's an economic downturn, whether it's how to scale their business, going through a pandemic, they have figured it out. And hearing the stories that shape that success, how they make their pivots, how they bring it to the next level. And it's a lot of fun to really tie in all the themes that resonate across leadership stories. And that includes mentors who have helped them. Maybe that first bank or someone that gave them their first shot, and really tying that together, adding that value for the audience, and being able to have leaders share their stories who are creating impact. I think for me, I hope it creates value for them. It creates value for the audience as well.
I love that. And Fred, you've been clearly involved in business banking for so long. Are there common traits that you notice among the more successful leaders and companies? Are there something or some things that they all have in common?
Yeah, there's a few themes that are in common. You have to love and believe in your product or your service and what you're doing, right? Their heart and soul, uh, they're embedded into the business. Second, they create amazing cultures with their people. They love their people, and some of these second, third generation businesses that we work with, you meet people there who have worked there longer than the second generation owner and know that second generation owner from when they were a kid. And so creating an environment where you have great people that grow with the organization and stay with the organization is important. And a great leader is involved in all the aspects of the business. They know it. They're not micromanaging it, but they are involved in it and they understand it and they have their finger on the pulse of it. But they let their people do their work. They empower them to make decisions.
And there's a reason why you, sir, are in the position you're in. And it says a lot about your leadership skills. In the C-Suite with Fred Castrovinci. Again, you can see it tonight, 5 p.m. on New Jersey and every evening at 5. In the C-Suite, host and regional president of New Jersey Commercial and Business Banking at the Great Valley Bank, Fred Castrovinci. Thank you for coming on this morning. Best of luck with that show. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much, Ken. Great to be with you.
Likewise, thank you. And when we come back, two Rutgers graduates who've had major impacts on society being recognized with one of the university's highest honors. The latest Rutgers University Hall of Distinguished Alumni members in just a moment. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 8:15, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Lots of sun today, a little bit of increased winds, if you will, 10 to 15 miles an hour. A few afternoon clouds, but nothing to write home about. Highs mid-90s. That's something to write home about. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta with a full Gadsden State forecast. Not that they say it that way here. I just thought I'd be silly. Good morning, Mike.
Find yourself a beach today. Find yourself a beach and plop there. You've got amazing weather, Ken, because it's a southwesterly wind that provides the warmer breezes, even at the beaches, up toward Long Branch, down by Toms River and Point Pleasant. Typically, you'd have a chilly breeze coming off of the water where the temperature's in the 50s. Not the case today. That warm southwesterly wind places inland will make it feel like 100 when you factor in the heat and humidity together. So some heat advisories all across the state. Feeling warm through this afternoon, and the air quality is also a little bit better. Yesterday, we had pretty poor air quality due to the stagnant air. Today, when this number is below 100, that means we're doing okay, and the weather is providing a little bit of relief from all of that pollution yesterday. So with all of these storms lined up to our west, this is what arrives by tomorrow afternoon. Today we stay dry, other than a rogue pop-up shower or storm, most of them happening toward the shore. Look at the coast. I think we're pretty okay today. By tomorrow morning, it starts off very warm and muggy, and then we see those storms arrive in the early afternoon, probably as soon as 1 or 2 o'clock. Right through the 3 o'clock hours, some of these storms could contain some gusty winds, frequent lightning, maybe even some small hail. As we head into tomorrow evening, all of these storms push eastward and give us a big cool down that'll get us down into the 40s and 50s for Thursday morning, keeping the showers and clouds around for most of the day Thursday, and even for the southern half of New Jersey by Friday morning. Rain returns statewide by Friday afternoon. It's kind of a very gray and very gloomy start to the holiday weekend, with the rain lingering through Saturday, 50s, showers. It's not the best looking weekend weather-wise. However, by Sunday, we get a little bit of a break from the rain, and then I think on Monday, have another shot of wet weather returning early on in the day. And then, of course, next week, we'll eventually see some clearing. But it's this trend that's been keeping us a little bit cooler and cloudier, at least through the first half of next week. So the weekend, not a bust. I think the drier half is on Sunday, especially at times in the afternoon, but only making it to 69 degrees, a far cry from the 80s and 90s that we had this past weekend, Ken.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. At 8:18, we have a temp of 69 degrees northern New Jersey. It's 75 in Trenton. So inland, again, it's much hotter than it is at the closer to the shore. Down the shore, in fact, it's only 66 degrees in Cape May right now. The temperature in let's see, down in Vineland is 69 as well. We have a time of 8:18 again, and we have problems on the roadways. Let's go to the Garden State Parkway. We have an earlier vehicle fire. The fire was extinguished, but the damage has been done. You can see the heavy traffic. The two right lanes still blocked, just where that, you can see that kind of the top of the truck there in the upper right. And that is from, again, an earlier car fire that we had live on the air here as it was burning. They got that fire out. The car is still broken down on the right lane. Emergency vehicles tending to them. So that's causing about a mile delay right now. It's not as bad as it was. But if we move about 10 miles away, 12 miles away on the Garden State Parkway, we have another issue right now. A disabled vehicle southbound. The center lane is blocked. This is at exit 139B in Union Township. So we're talking about the up and down, not the east-west, if you will, on your screen, but the up and down. You can see the buildup of traffic, and that is all due to the just beyond where those vehicles are coming to you in the lower left. So they are coming up on the incident I'm telling you about. That is a disabled vehicle in the center lane, again, at exit 139B in Union Township. Center lane is blocked. We now have a disabled truck on Corbin Street, southbound at Bay Avenue in Elizabeth. The left lane is blocked there. We have issues at the Hudson River crossings. Now, first, you don't have to show 139, Pam, but I'll just tell you 139 from 78 into the Holland Tunnel is going to go. Okay, thank you. It's going to cost you a solid 40 minutes. There it is. But I really do want to show you, if you could take the 495, Cam. This is important if we can get that. Thank you. Now, you see how that stopped right there? There is a reason for that. We now have a disabled bus. Disabled bus in the Lincoln Tunnel Center tunnel. Now, we don't know why the bus was in the center tunnel, because buses have, you see the dedicated lane to the left of the stop traffic? That's where buses are supposed to be in the morning. But apparently this bus ended up in the center tunnel and then broke down. So now you got all the other, it's the only tube that non-buses can be using. So now everybody's trying to make their way into Manhattan. They got to work their way into one lane around the bus in the center tube. And that's the problem you have there. That's going to cost you a good 45, 50 minutes in. GWB upper and lower levels already a mess. It's bumper to bumper, 80-95 approach, upper level on the right, lower level on the left. And that is 45 to 50 minutes. Stay home today. Do yourselves a favor. Tell them I said so. 8:21 is our time right now, and two Rutgers graduates whose careers have impacted medicine, public service, and countless lives are being recognized with one of the university's highest honors. Dr. Gloria Bachman and Jim Rhodes are among this year's inductees into the Rutgers University Hall of Distinguished Alumni. We say good morning, Dr. Bachman and Jim. Good to have you both on.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Aren't you glad you're not stuck in that traffic right now?
Oh, definitely.
Mess. Oh my, I chuckle about it now, not having to do it. I did that for 30 years. Anyway, we'll start with Gloria. What was your reaction when you found out that you were being inducted into the Hall of Distinguished Alumni?
Rutgers is definitely my family. That I grew up in Newark. For those of you who are also Newarkies in the Vailsburg section, and so Rutgers was what I had focused on my entire grade school and high school years. And when I was accepted into Rutgers, it was like, this is a dream come true. And I have been committed to Rutgers since before my undergraduate years. And so when I was given this honor, it was like, wow, I just couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it.
Clearly, you've contributed so much to New Jersey.
It was a dream come true.
Yeah, but we're blessed to have you in New Jersey and all you've done and all you've contributed, Doctor. So it's great that you won this and that you are being honored for it. So congratulations to you for it, and then you too, Jim. When did you find out, and what did you feel like when you found out that you got this award?
Thanks, Ken. I found out from a former colleague who gave me a call to let me know that I was being inducted into the Hall of Distinguished Alumni, and I was speechless. And people who know me know that's not always the case. I usually am not lost for words. Unlike Dr. Bachman, I went to Rutgers Camden down in the southern part of the state, and I took a little bit of a different path. It took me 19 years to graduate. I had left school for a while and was trying to find my way. But an unfortunate accident led me to returning to Rutgers, and it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened in my life. My everything turned around, and I couldn't be happier with the way things turned out.
Fantastic. Congratulations to you as well for that. And Doctor, as a first generation college student for you, how much did Rutgers change the direction of your life?
Oh, definitely. It changed the direction of my life. And I am now committed to Rutgers, and I'm committed to healthcare for women, for underserved communities. Through Rutgers, we began the Maternal Health Awareness Day, which is 1, 2, 3 for moms, where every mom has a voice so that we give them the best care. That we've started the One Health Initiative, where we're looking at how environment, how other animals impact the health of all of us. So that Rutgers has really been the foundation for just so much that I'm trying to contribute as a person, as a clinician, to the health and well-being of all individuals. So Rutgers has really been the backbone of what I do.
And it's funny you call it the backbone, because it really is. If you think about the locations, it is sort of the spine of New Jersey, with the 3 locations, right? From Newark to Brunswick's to all the way down to Camden. Rutgers is the line that connects from the New York area to Philadelphia area, and it is the foundation, if you will, for New Jersey. And Jim, your story is about perseverance and finding your way back. So talk about what kept you motivated for all the years before you graduated.
As I was working in various jobs, if you will, not really career focused, but I had friends at Rutgers Camden that always kept me connected to the university. So even though I was no longer attending classes, I would be invited to various events and lectures. I even traveled to South Africa with the alumni and students back in 2004. So, having those experiences still in my life, made me realize that Rutgers Camden would have me back. So when it came time to needing to do something with my life, I spoke to the New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. They told me they would pay for me to finish Rutgers. Rutgers took me in with open arms. My professors, the administration, they all cheered on my accomplishments as I was moving through. At the time, I overloaded 2 semesters. I was on the dean's list both semesters, unlike when I left earlier, where I had lost focus and wasn't paying attention. So Rutgers has taught me that you can make a difference in the world locally,
I love
in
that.
your
I
own
love that.
backyard by participating in life around you.
And there's something to be said about going and studying when you're a little older because you're more focused, you respect education more, you know what you want. And so you're going because you really want to, not because it's like the extension of high school. So there really is something to be said for that. And Dr. Bachman, you're a trailblazer in women's health. You were attending Rutgers and studying when there weren't many women in those spaces. So did you realize at the time how groundbreaking it was what you were doing?
Actually, Rutgers was so supportive of me. When we think about my career, it's basically been very focused on health and wellness and women, really giving them the optimal care that they need. But Rutgers also gave me an appreciation of many other uh, music and philosophy and so forth. And I still can think back to Professor Henry Saltzman, who was also so instrumental in saying, Gloria, in addition to your science, you also have to continue your music. And so to this day, I am still a violinist because of Rutgers and really saying you have to be a full person, that you have to contribute to society in all ways, and that you don't have to just do one thing.
Well, we're so lucky to have you both from New Jersey, two of this year's very honorable inductees into the very prestigious Rutgers University Hall of Distinguished Alumni, Dr. Gloria Bachman and Jim Rhodes. Congratulations to you both. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ken.
You bet. That's fantastic. That's like for Rutgers, people who know Rutgers, that is sort of the Nobel Prize for real, because it's not a lot of people in history. Rutgers is a huge institution, and very few people get honored with that. So congratulations to them. It's 8:28 right now. We have a temperature 74 degrees, northern New Jersey, 75 in Trenton. When we come back, a student's senior year of high school presents enough challenges on its own. Imagine working through high school and your senior year while battling cancer. We'll speak with one northern New Jersey senior who spent his whole high school career studying hard, playing sports, and battling lymphoma. We'll be back in 2 minutes. And a very good morning. It is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, 72 degrees at 8:31. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with another hot one, the full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ken.
What is that? Your computers have overheated.
It's that's it. It's so hot outside. Trying to keep things cool, trying to keep things warm. No matter where you go today, you're going to feel warm, especially under that blazing sun with the heat advisory up through this afternoon. Temperatures down the shore reaching the 80s at the cooler facing ocean beaches. Inland, upper 90s, probably near 100 there toward Hamilton and Egg Harbor City. So very warm weather today. This is July-like heat. Could have even set some temperature records as these winds from the south and west really warm things up today, well into the 20 mile per hour range with these winds pushing in some very warm air. Then as the wind shifts by tomorrow, we get the breezes off of the water. It turns very chilly, temperatures in the 40s and 50s by Thursday morning. So a big change on the way. That will also help drop the pollen levels because they have been running sky high, especially for trees and grasses, the weeds also remaining on the high side. So today expected in Newark to probably reach the upper 90s. Don't know if we'll make 98 degrees. That's the old record from 1962. We've had plenty of time to do it, especially with that sun up nice and early at 5:36 this morning. So more than 3 hours of sunlight already, helping to warm things up. But I think by this evening, after the sun sets, we stay warm through the overnight. The rain that comes in tomorrow gives us a good chance of wet weather. And then look at that rain ahead for the weekend. This is not what you want to see for Memorial Day forecast, although it seems like it always rains on Memorial Weekend. This weekend, no exception, back to the wet weather ahead after a couple of days of warm weather. So the showers that come in tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon really, allow for the cool down to take over. Then we're dry through most of the morning on Thursday. Friday brings back some rain into Saturday. Saturday is pretty wet all day long. And then I think by Sunday we'll start to see some clearing, maybe a few hours of dry weather by Sunday afternoon. But it's after a pretty wet start to the weekend anyway. Sunday into Monday featuring a little bit of a dry period and then probably back to the rain by Monday. And look at these highs, only in the upper 60s and low 70s, even at the beaches. So cooler, cloudy weather ahead after so much sunshine, Ken, that we've enjoyed some great weather, but at least our air quality is doing a little bit better. We were up at the unhealthy level yesterday. I think we'll start to see an improvement today with that wind, Ken.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. 72 degrees now, northern New Jersey, 75 degrees in Trenton. It's 70 degrees in Cape May, a little cooler down the shore. In terms of traffic, we got a lot of things going on right now. Let's go over to the New Jersey Turnpike. There's a crash reported southbound north of Interchange 3, which is by Route 168 Barrington. Left lane is blocked, and you can see the slower traffic as they're coming through the tolls there, and that's going to be an issue for probably in the next half hour. I'm sure they'll get that cleared. It's not a very, very big crash, nonetheless, to report to you. We have something going on here on Route 1, northbound south of Route 18 in New Brunswick. Left lane of 3 lanes closed, and you can see this is causing some delays. Again, this is Route 1, a crash northbound south of Route 18, New Brunswick. Left lane is closed. We have that? No? Yes? All right, we don't. That's okay. We also have a disabled car. It's a disabled vehicle, New Jersey Garden State Parkway, I should say. Garden State Parkway southbound by exit 139B Union. The center lane is blocked there. That's causing about a half a mile delay into that. Pulaski Skyway, now we have a crash. That's going to be a mess. Northbound by South Kearney in South Kearney. So it's northbound South Kearney in South Kearney. They call the road that approaches it South Kearney. Right lane is closed, so the Pulaski, to avoid the Pulaski at all costs in the Kearney area, please. Hudson River crossings, we have a mess at the Holland Tunnel right now. 139 is bumper to bumper. You could see those stopped cars on the right side above where you see the Rider University logo. That is taking you into the right tube, and that is stopped right now. Lincoln Tunnel is also pretty heavy, although we had an earlier disable in the center tube. That's been cleared, so you can see it's starting to move right now. That's better, much better than it was half an hour ago, although now you can see the problems in the bus lanes. There is that was where the disabled was affecting the bus lane, so you see the stopped buses. And then over to the GWB, upper and lower levels, very heavy all morning long. It's now 45 to 50 minutes, upper levels on the right, lower levels on the left. And again, 45 to 50 minutes into Upper Manhattan from there. 8:35 for most high school seniors this time of year is about graduation, sports, and planning for the future. But for Northern Valley Old Tappan senior Anthony Onembo, Anthony Onembo, the past 4 years have also included a private battle with a rare form of lymphoma. It's a fight that he faced while continuing to play varsity baseball and keeping up with schoolwork. Anthony is now in remission, thank God, and he's sharing his story publicly for the first time to help inspire other young people who are facing cancer. We say good morning and welcome, Anthony. Good to have you on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You bet. And it's funny that I could say all of that and I couldn't get your last name properly. Let me say it again. Onembo. And you think a guy named Rosato would be able to do that. Anthony, take us back, if you will. Right? Sounds like a law firm. Onembo Rosato. Take us back to freshman year. You got the diagnosis. You were only 14 years old at the time. Tell us what that was like.
Oh, it was so bad. I remember. So this is like the big thing in my life when I say like get off the dryer. Because when I was 14, I was like crying. I ran downstairs to the basement. I like sat on the back of the dryer, and that time was like a moment of grief where I was like, I don't. It was almost like a split second. Do I stay on this dryer or do I get off this dryer? So now I have like one chapter in my book. I wrote, "Get off your dryer." Whenever in my head, I'm always like, "Get off the dryer. Go live an ambition. Go get on that news like platform. Go do things like to put yourself out there because I don't want to live in grief." So like I always say, I got on the dryer, crying in the basement.
And you made the decision initially to keep it private, right? You didn't want to talk about the cancer battle from everybody around you. Why was that important? Was it that you just didn't want to dwell on it? You wanted to kind of keep it out of your mind?
Oh, there was multiple reasons for that, and it took like a lot of courage to keep it because I mean, after some time, it started to weigh on me. But the biggest reason was protection. Like, I love my family, I love my friends, but there's nothing really they could do for it. It's a rare type of lymphoma. Like MSK said, they only seen it so many times. Like, there's nothing they could have done to help me, so I didn't want to tell anyone because I don't want them to worry about it. Because worrying doesn't help anyone; it just hurts them. That was one. That was the biggest one, honestly.
That's amazing. And there were times that you went from the hospital straight to baseball practice. I mean, other people would go from the hospital, like go home, they'd be nervous, dwell on it. Instead, was that just to keep it out of mind and just say, you know what, there's nothing else I could do. I went to the hospital, took care of stuff. Now I'm just going to go out and play baseball. Was that what that was about?
I mean, that was another reason. When I was a freshman, when I was 14, I was so dead set on making varsity, and I realized now I didn't know, but like I realized it wasn't about varsity. It was about being tough, being through, like powering through. And so like I didn't want to use it as an excuse. I didn't want to crush. So that was another reason. I didn't want to say, yeah, he didn't make varsity, even though he was telling everyone about it because of this. I just wanted to be like a normal kid, and the suppression of it helped me like be like everyone else.
And so baseball then became more than a sport, right? For you, it was something much bigger. So
Yes.
did that help you mentally and emotionally during treatment?
Oh yeah. I mean, I did so many things during treatment to just like to just keep my mind afloat because when you're not talking to other people, you need other outlets. So I used to do push-ups at like 1 a.m. That's how I got like every time I got like stronger, I always say like like something else is going on. Did that really good at basketball, really good at pickleball. I got good at so many things because of this because I needed other outlets.
That's amazing. So you found the positive from what other people would just curl up in a ball and just want to go away. And you said you instead use that as your motivation to move forward and do all this and accomplish this. And thank God you are in remission today. You have this incredible senior season that you're having. So what has this year meant to you personally? Is it sort of like you've climbed the mountain and you've conquered it?
I don't want to say I don't want to ever say I beat it because I've been in this stage before. So my scans are clean, but these scans have missed like microscopic cells and they came back before like a couple times, even though my specific type is never supposed to come back. So I don't want to ever say I beat it. But thank God the scans are clean though. We're in a pretty good place. And to answer this season, like what this season has meant to me. Have you seen that I wrote a book?
Yes. So it's a book is called
Yeah.
Cancer, I Thank You, right?
Yes, it's called Cancer. I Thank You, a blueprint for creating a life you want to wake up to. And this year, I'm totally forgetting about everything. I don't care about stats. I don't care about recruiting. I don't care about who's in stance. I don't care about anything. I'm grading my success based on how well I live in accordance to the book, and my season's been the best I've ever played.
That is amazing. I mean, just it's inspiring to anybody, but especially to somebody else who might be encountering cancer to show them that there is a way, there's a route you could take and not dwell on it and not feel sick and wallow in the pain and just move on and go forward. Your classmates in the school's SMAC club, right, organize a home run derby
Yes, my
inspired
club.
by your story. And that's a benefit of the Tom Coughlin J Fund. So what did it mean to see your community rally around this cause? And we did that story, by the way, when your school did this.
Thank you very much. I mean, that was amazing to see the student movement against Cancer Club, like to work with them, to get everyone out there. Like at lunch, the whole school filed out to have a big home run derby. Like that was so much fun.
That is amazing.
One of the best ones of my life. And $1,000 to the J Fund, which is an amazing organization. They do so much good. So I'm happy to be partnered with them, and it was amazing.
And you got a scholarship from the J Fund, right? Talk about that.
Yeah, I did. And see what I just said? Like they're amazing. They help so many people. I got $10,000, $2,500 a year for 4 years of schooling. It's absolutely incredible the stuff that they do. So they even put me in contact with you guys. So I thank them very much.
Yeah, they're a great organization. So where do you want to go to school and what do you want to do?
So I believe I'm going to go to Muhlenberg College, but do you remember before when I said like the scans are really bad and they don't really pick up? So like my thing came back a couple times. It leaves like a certain type of uncertainty. So I want to become a biomedical engineer and I want to go help those MRI machines. So that's what I've been studying. So before I wrote a book, I was studying all this stuff, and then I was like, wait, I got to put on pause. I think I need to do something right now for the next kid's mind, and now I'll get back to the body. Now I'm done with everything. Once this baseball season ends, I'll really pick it up.
You're amazing. I think anything you do, you're going to be successful with. Northern Valley Oltapan Senior Anthony Onembo. Best of health, best of luck to you. God bless you and your family. Thank you for coming on this morning. Come back again, please.
Thank you for letting me. I really appreciate you.
It's an honor to have you on, my friend. God bless. What an incredible story. It is 73 degrees right now, 8:43. When we come back, more families face difficult decisions about long-term care, and some are raising concerns about the paperwork residents are asked to sign when entering nursing homes. Our friends from AARP New Jersey will be here to talk about it in 2 minutes. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Did you like yesterday? How about rinse, wash, repeat? Maybe a degree or two more. Here's meteorologist Mike Favetta with the full Garden State forecast during the middle of our supposed heat wave. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, Ken, we've got some very warm weather on the way. I think day 3, making it a heat wave, would be tomorrow after so much sunshine today. Then we look forward to the rain, and it could be a significant amount, maybe 1 to 2 inches there, with these thunderstorms that develop by tomorrow afternoon toward Flemington. And then all of these showers work their way eastward down to the south and east. So the places in New Jersey that really need the rain get the rain over the coming days. The timing, terrible, just in time for the upcoming holiday weekend. Even though we're in a 1 to 2 inch rainfall deficit down there in the southernmost part of New Jersey, it's south of 195, that severe drought continues. Northern New Jersey today tapping into the near triple-digit heat, upper 90s on tap with that very warm weather throughout this weekend. Throughout today and tomorrow. The weekend cools down, and with that cool down comes higher chances of rain. But we're not done with summer yet. It's not even summer as of yet. That's why there's warm weather forecasts for at least the next 15 days, with the longer range outlook promoting higher heat looking ahead. Into this weekend, cooler weather. Now, I think Sunday has the better chance of seeing some dry weather this weekend, and then we're right back to the clouds for Monday with a high of 73. So not exactly beach weekend weather, but I think you'll be able to find some time at the shore today and tomorrow, and then cooling off going ahead into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Ken.
There you go. Thank you, Mike. 74 degrees already in northern New Jersey, 75 degrees in Trenton. And now this segment is brought to you by our friends at AARP New Jersey. As more families face difficult decisions about long-term care, advocates are raising concerns about the paperwork that many residents are asked to sign when entering nursing homes, often during stressful or medically vulnerable moments. Gail Smith has lived through that experience herself, and now she's speaking out to help protect other residents and push for stronger consumer safeguards in nursing home admission agreements. Joining us now again, Gail Smith, nursing home resident and advocate. We say good morning and welcome to you, Gail.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you on. And I speak now with a mother who's 87, a father who is 95. And we've had them both in nursing home rehabs, but within the nursing home environment several times in the last year and a half. And I've seen the environment, and I've heard the stories now from people there at the various nursing homes. First, let's ask, how long have you been in a nursing home? And tell us about the experience when you had to come in and sign the paperwork.
I've been in 2 nursing homes for 5 years now. The paperwork is ominous. It's very long and difficult to read through. Unfortunately, at the first nursing home, they didn't have me sign the agreement until I was sick and heading for the hospital. I was delirious and didn't know my own name. My signature looked like a tumbleweed, and I didn't remember signing it at all.
And that paperwork, you sign away a lot of rights in that paperwork, don't you?
Well, you get rights too. It's hard to describe everything that's in a contract, but you have to be careful that they don't force you to sign an arbitration agreement, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It was offered to me at one place, and I didn't understand the difference between a trial in court and an arbitration hearing. I found out later that they tend to favor the corporations, and there's no appeal process with that. So that's not exactly what you want if you are having a severe problem with your nursing home.
Right. And just so that people know just the basics, and I'm not an attorney, but the basic concept is an arbitration is much less expensive than a court hearing because it's usually done, the arbitrator is usually a fellow lawyer, not a judge. And with an arbitrator or an arbitration, it's usually all or nothing. So if you go to an arbitration, they call it binding arbitration, it's usually all for one side or all for the other. Whereas court, you could be kind of awarded a partial judgment. So that's why I think corporations prefer that. It's less expensive, and it's harder to win 100% of anything. So that's obviously why I would assume they would want that. Now, you shared that you were asked to sign that admission paperwork when you were medicated. Did you talk to them later about that and say, you know, why when I was so medicated and not doing well mentally did you make me sign that?
I didn't ask them any questions, but I told them that it was not legal and warned them that they should not be doing that. I was a
Mhm.
legal secretary, so I have a little bit of a background in law, and normally I would read the entire contract. People started saying, your contract, this, that. I said, I don't have a contract.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really unfair. And it's not like you were coming in with other people, I'm assuming, right? You didn't have relatives who were with you. This was all you.
Correct.
Wow. And when you look back later, were there things in those agreements that really concern you in retrospect that would have made you not sign?
No, I would have signed it anyway, but we didn't exactly know what to ask a facility when we went in. And now I have a lot of suggestions.
Mhm.
Um, First, you can contact the long-term care ombudsman about a contract. And I'm part of a group of New Jersey Nursing Home Residents United. And you can speak to residents who have lived through these experiences for years.
Mhm.
I suggest taking a tour. They'll give you a tour, but they'll show you their best room that you might not
Mhm.
necessarily be getting. So ask for a second room. Um, Ask to taste the food. Don't just look at the menu, because what's in writing can look fancier than what is actually served.
Mhm.
You also want to have roommate compatibility. It's very important. Are you used to a very quiet environment with no media, lights out, sleeping in the dark early, or do you like to stay up late?
Mhm.
Um, are you a clean person or more relaxed? Um, I would visit a facility more than once. I'd make a second trip that was unannounced. Maybe
Yeah.
go on the weekend when there's less staff and see what it's like and talk to the residents. You can ask to speak to the resident council. There's a vice president and president usually. Ask to see their meeting minutes for a couple of months. Look them over. See what people are complaining
Mhm.
about or admiring about the facility. And then there's a federal list of residents' rights. It's 4 pages long. But we have found that they don't offer all the rights. You
Mhm.
have to know what they are and fight for them. Hmm.
Now, one thing that we've seen, and this is in my own family too, you go to different nursing homes, sometimes you see one nurse on the floor or two nurses on the floor, and there might be 20 residents. And if you need help or you need something, it's hard to get anybody to come. And yet these nursing homes charge an awful lot of money, whether you're paying out of pocket or you're paying via Medicaid or Medicare, et cetera. They're not cheap, as you can well attest, I'm sure. So, how do you spot? Do you just ask the other residents, do you think there's enough care here? Because you might, like you said, you might be there on a Tuesday and you might see five people on the floor, and then on a Saturday, you might see one.
There's a report on the front desk, legally has to be there, that says how many residents a certified nurse assistant is taking care of for the day. Our state law says for the first shift, it has to be only 8 residents.
Mm, interesting. I did not know that at all. I said my relatives are in New York State, but I'm sure it's quite similar there. And if you could leave
Mhm.
any message for families who want to look around at different nursing homes before signing nursing home paperwork for themselves or a loved one, what advice would you give? Is there one piece of advice?
For me, I start with prayer. God can lead you to the right place. And think about what you would like. You don't get to take a lot of possessions with you. You're going to be probably sharing a room, but good things can happen there too. The activities departments vary from one to the other, but they can provide a good time, or you can make your own entertainment and fun, which I tend to do a lot.
Good for you. Well, I'm glad you're being such a great advocate, nursing home resident and advocate Gail Smith. Thank you for coming on this morning. God bless you. And I hope you nothing, wish for you nothing but joy and good health there.
Thank you so much, Ken. It's good to see you.
Likewise. 8:56, meteorologist Mike Favetta once again saying that we will have mostly sunny and breezy conditions today. Maybe an afternoon cloud here or there. Highs mid-90s, and another day tomorrow. If we get into the mid-90s or above 90 tomorrow, that's a heat wave. And that's on New Jersey Mornings. For your Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you could stream us at onnj.com, onlaca.com, onfla.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, X, Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and Local Now. We have it everywhere, so there's never an excuse. We're also on social media. I point over to my right because I have my good friends watching us here on TikTok and also on Instagram Live, or often on Facebook Live in the morning. So you could see the behind the scenes. For that, go to my sites, Ken Rosato. And you could, or if you do a search on any of these social media, if you put in my name, Ken Rosato, Rosato, you could follow behind the scenes, and we'll have all that information for you. You could see what's going on when we're not on camera from behind the scenes. So lots of great guests today, and we thank them all for coming on. Again, we started all over again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. That's when we're on nationwide on our channels on LACA on the West Coast, ONNJ East Coast, and ONFLA for Florida. And then the rest of the show from 8 to 9, strictly ONNJ for the folks in New Jersey. Catch you again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us. Till then, have a great day.